see Garrett Heen set to jump against Chase Clayton. Paladins trying to get back to the winning ways here in Greenville. It's tapped around, controlled by the Paladins. And tell you what, I think we're going to see a big emphasis on this Furman team. You talked about in the open, defending the basketball, especially defending the dribble, but they'll start on the offensive end as you look at the Bonsecourt starting five.
And if nothing else, just play with pace offensively. Move the ball, cut hard.
Seven to shoot. Slauson trying to back down on the block. Little right-handed hook shot is good. Slauson comes in averaging over 14 points a game. Points not a problem for this Furman team, Terrence. Over 82 points a game. Winthrop comes in just about 77 points. As you take a look at the Winthrop starting five presented by Bonsecourt. What do you want to see out of this Furman team defensively?
Well, defensively, they just need to guard their man. Guard your yard. And Winthrop shoots over 40% as a team from three. If you guard individually, they're not going to be able to find open shots, but those things are too easy. Can't happen. Can't lose place of your man. Ball you man.
Chase Clayton just under 5 points a game, gets the two-handed dunk. The 6'7" senior able to come back to Greenville, South Carolina's hometown to play. Always fun. That shot's off the mark. Will go back to the Eagles, looking for their first lead here in the early going. Quick trigger three on the way. That's off the mark. Strong rebound by J.P. Pegues. Tell you what, Furman was down 7 points with about 1:20 to go in that game against High Point. Came all the way back. Had cut it to 1, and it was really J.P. Pegues, Terrence, that helped lead that late comeback.
Well, absolutely was. He has shot-making capability. It's just, is he going to be able to supply that for the entirety of the game? This is where Garrett Heen needs to score. You get a mismatch, you have to punish him. Garrett Heen says he's too small.
Heen almost 10 points a game at 9.5. You talked about Garrett Heen. It really kind of impressed you against that High Point athletic, quick-moving Panther team. So maybe one of the few Paladins that stood out.
Well, he's playing well. He's passing the ball well, and his confidence level is through the roof. But this is where Furman has struggled. The ball moves quickly. You have to jump, not jump into position. You have to sprint into position because Winthrop, much like High Point, is going to play early in the shot clock. You have to be ready to go from the jump.
See McMahon and 45% from long range as Furman responds on the other end. There is J.P. Pegues.
That's what he can do. He has that spurtability factor. As you referenced, scores 8 quick points at the end of the game against High Point. They're going to need some consistency out of him.
Both these teams mid to high 30s beyond the arc. Talford down low, skips far side. McMahon into the lane, has it stripped away along the baseline and saved back in. Blocked on the way up, but a whistle, and I think they're going to get Mike Bothwell for his first personal foul.
And that was awfully close to being out of bounds on the baseline, but good hustle to pick it up, and that'll be Bothwell. Talford, he's not the most skilled guy on the planet, but what he does is he never turns it off. He is an all-effort guy, averaging close to 18 points per game. And you see why. He just ends up with loose balls around the bucket, and he can make you pay.
Talford on the season, 71% free throw shooter, has one more upcoming to try to tie things up at 7 apiece. These two teams only about a little less than an hour and a half apart. Rock Hill, South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, two great mid-major programs, and played close matchups over the years, including a 5-point win for Winthrop a year ago in Rock Hill. Slauson trying to back down Talford. Fifth year against sophomore, turns in the lane a bit too strong, taps around, still loose, and it's going to be out of bounds off Winthrop.
And those extra effort plays, that's what Marcus Foster, number 5, can provide for your team. You know, Talford doesn't look like he's the strongest guy on the floor, but that effort is constant, so you're never going to get anything easy, but Marcus Foster doing a nice job creating that extra possession. Nice cut.
Bothwell blocked from behind on the way up. Not keep things at 7. Harrison quickly on the lane, tries to pass it into the lane, deflected and gets it back. Hightower runs into Heen, loses the basketball. He wanted a foul. It's the first turnover for Winthrop. Back and forth we go. Winthrop 0-3 on the year, looking to end a 5-game non-conference road losing streak that dates back to last season. Slauson, now Bothwell.
Ball moving well, side to side. Bothwell. That defense shifts a little bit. It loosens up some of the ball screen defense. It changes sides of the floor. Bothwell, just a veteran player, doesn't get sped up. Able to knock down the midi.
Something's got to give. Either Winthrop's going to stop this non-conference losing streak or they're going to keep up. They've won 21 of their last 22 games against opponents from South Carolina. So, been playing well against Palmetto State opponents. Down by 2. Next whistle will be the under 16 media timeout. Baseline drive, kick far corner, now 2 on the shot clock. 3-pointer on the way, off the front of the rim. Offensive board, back up, and it rattles in. And Furman absent on the defensive rebound and the easy putback.
And you got to give Winthrop credit. That ball is popping around the perimeter. It's so difficult to guard if you don't discourage any of these passes. Winthrop able to get some open shots, and then you have to close out possessions. Offensive rebounds could kill you.
Ball sent to the corner, quick fire. Pegues, that's his second from long range. J.P. Pegues now with a quick 6 points, and the Paladins back up 3.
Picking up where he left off, J.P. Pegues, he has been more potential than production thus far, but he has that ability to get you 12 to 15 points on a given night because of his quickness and ability to shoot the basketball.
Might have gotten away with the walk, but man, and his floater's off the mark. Slauson with the rebound. Paladins like to play quickly. They'll get it into the front court off the miss, and here's Slauson. Now a late whistle and an offensive foul. Taking it was Talford.
R.B. Clyburn goes in. It could have been a flop call, but that being said, get in the right position. You don't have to be hit all that hard. And Furman up 3 as we go into our first break.
48 just getting underway here in Greenville. Great mid-major matchup here this Saturday afternoon. Bryant Lambert, Terrence Oglesby with you from Timmons Arena. Paladins up 3. Both teams shooting the basketball well early, Terrence.
Yeah, that's right. The ball's popping for both teams, especially for Winthrop, who's been able to get some open looks. But Furman, if they play fast and they play with pace, they're going to be able to find shots because they have skill on the offensive end, especially with Jalen Slauson and Mike Bothwell. And what ends up happening, guys like J.P. Pegues, who you saw is 2 for 2 from 3 so far, he's going to get open looks as a result.
Full court pressure for the Paladins. We saw this very effective to slow down High Point earlier this week. In for the Paladins, Alex Williams, 6'5" sophomore out of Ohio, as well as Tyrese Huey, the sophomore out of Columbus. Williams, very effective in Furman's win over South Carolina State. Earned his way into the lineup as that drive all the way down the lane and into hoop off the glass.
That's too bad. That was an excellent trap from the baseline for Mike Bothwell. And they were able to just pitch it back out, and they had a poor closeout by Garrett Hain. And J.P. Pegues knocks down his 3rd triple of the day. We haven't even hit the 7-minute mark.
Talford all the way up the court. Count it. And a foul. Talford will go to the line for 1. That was on a make. Talford beating everybody down the court.
Big South plays fast. I don't know how to explain that any differently. You go against High Point, they're flying up and down the floor. There is no celebrating on made buckets. You better get back and make sure you communicate, or else Winthrop's going to be able to score within the first 5 seconds.
Slauson back in. He takes a seat. Bob Ritchie having some words.
And
coaching up the junior out of Charlotte.
And I think that was from the prior possession. Whenever you're closing out, you have to make them go baseline because that's where their help side is geared to stop them. And if they're able to get middle, that's when your defense can break down a little bit. 1-3-1 zone by Winthrop. They love to employ this. It's a little bit confusing. They have Chase Claxton at the top to bother some of these passes. How you beat this, though, if you're able to get direct passes, the zone can be a little bit late.
Tip it out of bounds, 10 on the shot clock.
And that's one of the problems right there. Chase Claxton, he's got those long arms that he's able to disrupt some of those passing lanes.
6'7" at the top.
Yeah, the little brother of Nicholas Claxton, who played at Georgia, now playing for the Brooklyn Nets.
10 on the shot clock. They'll stay in the zone. Now 5 to shoot. Pegues, can he make it 4 in a row? That's short. And here comes Winthrop, a chance to take the lead. Pegues had to put that one up. As the shot clock winding down. Nice pass down low to Talford off the glass and in. Winthrop back up 1. Back and forth we go. Both these teams get up and down the court.
That's where Slauson's got to score. Able to draw the foul. That was an excellent job getting deep post position and making a decision, being decisive towards the rim.
Slauson set to go to the line, 73% on the year for the 5th year. You think that zone was something just to change it up, or are they going to stick through it for a few possessions?
Well, Winthrop's a team that'll stick through it for a few possessions. But here's the thing about getting to the free throw line. Now you can establish and call your defense. You had some success slowing down what Winthrop has been doing by getting out in that full court pressure. And a lot of times you're not looking to create turnovers. You're looking to change the pace of what the opposing team is doing. Furman's had success not only this game, but they had success with that last game as well.
Freshman Ben Vanderwall, Elmhurst, Illinois, checking in for the Paladins as Furman's going to keep this full court pressure on. Vanderwall came in, made a statement. 11 points in the season opener against North Greenville, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul and almost a 10-second violation.
It looked like a 50-50 ball as far as I'm concerned. Ball goes up. Tyrese Hughes just a little bit late. Got to use your athleticism, anticipate a little bit better.
Ryan Christian, Matt Jarman, R.V. Kleiber, your officiating crew this afternoon. It's a good crowd here in Timmons Arena. Very tough place.
It is a good crowd.
Get used to sellouts, especially in Southern Conference play here, non-conference action. On a Saturday, you know, get toward the holiday season. This place not packed out, but it's close. Here's McManning working against Bothwell, sends it near side. 3 lane on the way, that's good. Winthrop now 2 of 4 from long range, and the Eagles back up 2.
Furman's defense coming over on help side, actually doing a nice job position-wise, but that was a heck of a pass across his body to the opposite corner. Sometimes guys are going to make really good plays. You just have to be in position for enough possessions to where you can make it difficult.
Just the second turnover for Furman in the first 8 minutes. Took care of the basketball really well against an athletic High Point team. And you've seen the hedge by Huey trying to get it down low, slowed down as Talford loses out of bounds, but they're going to get Huey for the bump.
And that was a very minimal bump, but regardless, Williams did a nice job coming over on help side and kind of stalling that. I mean, it was a foul. Get there, keep your discipline. He's got a narrow base right there. You're trying to brace for contact, but regardless, Tyrese Huey can't do that.
It's a second on Huey. I'll get Garrett Heen back in the basketball game. Williams challenges the inbounds pass. Furman bench going to the sideline. Pass intercepted all the way down to Heen. Two-handed jam. Talford came back to contest it.
Hey, good hustle by Talford to get back. Heen getting out in the passing lanes, creating an extra opportunity, but Talford lost a shoe and still competed. Got back into play and was close, but Heen, way to be alert off the basketball. Could have gotten a foul.
Hey, what? Furman 64% from the field. Winthrop 70% from the field. So both getting high percentage looks here in the early going. We're knotted up at 19. Here's that full court Paladin pressure. Winthrop able to beat it, and now Furman gets back man-to-man defensively. That pressure, is it meant to force turnovers or really slow down, use a little bit of the shot
Just slow
clock?
down, change of pace, make sure they have to think a little bit offensively. And look, now the ball stagnates a little bit, comes into one hand, makes it much more difficult to initiate offense, and that's a good defensive possession, but you have to close it out.
Offensive rebound, second chance point, sit back up, long three-pointer on the way, off the mark. Allen is looking to box out, there's Heen, and going to be a foul against the Eagles. Only 8 rebounds have been up for grabs. Somebody made shots, Mr. Oglesby.
A lot of made shots, but Garrett Heen establishing some toughness finally after a couple of offensive boards. We're all knotted up here. Winthrop, Furman in a battle. And you'll see Garrett Heen getting out. Talford lost the shoe. It doesn't matter. We're knotted up.
The Paladins lost against High Point. What a game that was, Terrence. You and I were talking after, back and forth, high energy effort. And tell you what, Coach Ritchie after that game made it very clear to his team, I don't care how well you play offense, you're not going to win basketball games if you don't defend.
Well, that's what it came down to, and High Point came back at them. If they scored, High Point was trying to score within the first 5 seconds. A lot of people say first 7 seconds of the offense, first 5 seconds for High Point. It was a thrilling contest just to be a part of and to watch. I mean, a lot of fun. Oh my goodness gracious, he climbed them. Even Bob Ritchie was shocked at that one. My goodness.
Take another look.
Climb the ladder, young man.
Coach Prosser wants a review, said, hey, there was an elbow. And I think if we can run that back one more time, great job by Jeff Schetzel, his entire crew. I think they're saying that initial screen potentially that freed Vanderwall.
Goodness.
Might have had contact. Terrence, take a look here. That elbow potentially by Garrett Heed.
Oh, I can't even focus on that right now. Goodness, Ben Vanderwall. No, I won't talk about it. Don't you ruin my joy.
Right here, I think, no, that's his own player.
His own guy.
This is his own guy hit it, yeah, so that's not going to be nothing.
Oh, my God.
I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to get.
You're just raining on my parade right now.
You know
that's
what?
all you're doing.
Hey, look, we all know you were a fan of Ducks. You don't want us to go there. After because they're going to have the conversation. I think they are going to clarify, and Terrence will get the conversation.
Same thing as we thought. It was flagrant activity. It was their own player. No foul. Move on.
Yeah, nice job by the officials here. Take another look. You'll see the elbow.
Look at this, though. 1, 2. Help side's late. He caught him on the way up. He's going to talk about that the rest of his life.
So he's excited about film. Now,
yeah, no kidding.
And, you know, his first points as a freshman in that opening game was he took an alley-oop away from Jalen Slauson and threw it down against North Greenville. So, you know, Vanderwall's got 2 big-time highlights here in his freshman year. They're going to get some blood cleaned up.
I was shocked. I was shocked. He went baseline. I thought some kid one of the guys for Winthrop hit the floor. Next thing I know, he turned around. He's climbing the ladder. Unbelievable. Keys to the game, though. If you're Winthrop, attack the rim early, and you've seen that. They're getting into the lane when they want. And what's happening is Furman's forced to rotate, and then they're going to be able to find threes out of that. Now, for Furman, you've got to guard your yard. It's something that they've struggled with a little bit. Keeping one man in front of them. You have to stop the ball. And what ends up happening is the ball starts swinging, and then you have trouble catching up and having good closeouts. So you have to keep the ball in front of you.
There you saw Furman head man Bob Ritchie. I want a Blazer game between you and Coach Ritchie. I think that would be a fantastic battle of whose closet goes deeper on the Blazer game. Of course, a lot of coaches, you know, some have gone back to the full suit. Some have gone for the open collar Blazers. Some just like Coach Prosser on the other end just goes, hey, we're gonna take something positive from COVID, and that's gonna be more casual on the sideline.
I'm a fan of the suit and the Blazer.
Classing it up a little bit.
Keep it classy.
Full court pressure, easily beat on the near side by Harrison. Looks to go the whole way. Count it.
Wow, big time finish. Kason Harrison breaks the pressure. The Lamar transfer, gets downhill in a hurry. Stops, maintains his composure, stays straight up. Jalen Slauson not able to stop. That's a big time finish. Mr. Harrison, over the last 3 games, 9 assists and 4, or excuse me, over the last 2 games, 9 assists, 4 steals. He has some shiftiness to his game. Really handles the ball well, can get downhill. You saw it on that possession. I can't get over that dunk, Bryant.
It's going to take you a minute. I haven't realized that. Both these teams made their conference tournament final a season ago. Those 14 wins by Winthrop in the Big South. That was most by any first-year head coach. Prosser leading those. Of course, Furman had that heartbreaking loss to Chattanooga on that half-court shot and lose by 1 as Heen will go to the line. So both these teams, do you use that? I mean, you move on. You can't dwell on it, but how much do you use a loss at a conference championship game, not only for motivation, but then in games like this, knowing you're playing a quality opponent from a similar league?
Well, this is a team in Winthrop and a team in Furman, both of which have tournament aspirations. So you get that look early in the season as far as this is what it could potentially look like whenever you do get to the big dance.
One more coming at the line for Garrett Heen, the junior out of Charlotte. 4 points here in the early going.
Garrett Heen's had a good season thus far. I mean, last season had some confidence things occur. This year, gotten a little bit stronger physically. The game has slowed down for him a little bit, and he's been good.
Here's that pressure again. Harrison was able to beat it last time by himself on the dribble. There, Furman forces a pass and forces a turnover.
Vanderwall has been a breath of fresh air. Wow, what a interesting possession that was, trying to attack a retreating defense. But Vanderwall doing a nice job getting up in the passing lanes, bringing his guys' energy as he comes out of the game. Good minutes that you get from your freshman.
Bench stands up. Congratulations to freshman Bothwell back in. Furman with the basketball. Shot clock still plenty of time. Coming off Winthrop's third turnover. That one coming in the backcourt. You got to force a pass on that when you're in pressure. You can't let Harrison, last time out, beat everybody on, forces the and one. There you get it out of his hands and force a turnover.
That's right. You have to close up your trapping angles. And what I mean is sometimes when we would press when I was in college, and I played for Oliver Purnell, we pressed for 40 minutes. He would teach us to cross our feet so they couldn't split if you take the correct angles. But if you get split, you're in trouble because then everybody's in retreat mode.
Geese a bit too strong. His second miss after hitting his first three. Winthrop on the run out. Tough layup off the mark. Nice defense without fouling. Alex Williams with the rebound. Up to Bothwell. One more to Heen off the glass and in. 1, 2, 3. Paladins back up two.
It's a nice job getting out on the break. Alex Williams, good outlet pass. Garrett Heen running the floor. And good things happen.
Heen now with 7. Quickly back the other way. Easily off the glass and in. Talford. Talford now in double digits with 11 to lead all scorers. Eagles back in the man-to-man. Heen against Talford. Help comes out to Pegues.
So look, there's a lot of passing, a lot of standing. If you don't get it initially, get rid of the ball, cut, play for the next man. Nice move, Mr. Williams.
More than just a shooter, Alex Williams spins in the lane. Furman back up two. Take another look. Athletic move for the 6'5" sophomore.
The big fella. Big man, nimble feet.
Skip pass out of bounds. Last touch by Winthrop.
And that's activity by Furman's weak side defense. You're able to stay alert now. That being said, Jimmy Williams, he turns his head. He probably gets a steal, but you guard the ball, you force some tough passes, and then you force turnovers.
Heen out to Alex Williams, long three-pointer. That's a bit too strong. Allen is now 3 of 7 from long range.
I was about to say this is a pretty good defensive possession by Alex Williams. He slides his feet against the bigger Hightower, and then you have the switch, and he's able to stay there, just loses his balance. The feet just get tangled up. That's all that was.
7th team foul, so now 1-1 for the Eagles. Going to the line is Harrison.
Harrison on the season.
Just 58%, yeah.
Not necessarily a shooter. Harrison's more of a dribble attack guy, get his teammates involved.
Both teams, Terrence, above 60% from the field. When you look down, combined 30 points in the paint, so nearly half these teams' points are coming from down low, so getting good looks.
That's absolutely right. They're getting some offensive rebounds as well. And that's what happens when you have guys that can knock down shots from the perimeter. That floor opens up a little bit, and then you can attack. Excuse me, the rim.
Off the foot, right to the hands of Foster. Bothwell to reset the offense. Still 15 on the shot clock. Pegues trying to get one going again, and he does. J.P. Pegues now with 12, all coming from long range. Furman ties their largest lead, which is 3.
But that was a result of the ball popping around the perimeter. If nothing else, Marcus Foster just making that one more pass quick. And that opens it. He's just a half step more open, and it's easier. Here's Garrett Heen. You're going to look. They're going to wait till he puts it on the ground the first time, and then that's when the trap comes. That's Alex Williams. That's a terrific closeout. Terrific closeout. And then you make difficult decisions. And then now Furman gets to do what they do best, and that's take off and play in transition.
Turnover trying to lead to offense. Three-pointer on the way, on line, just a bit too strong. Talford with the rebound. Now, a stoppage of play. Looks like they're going to just dry off the court, and there'll be immediate timeout from it. Coach Mark Prosser not happy about something.
He hasn't been happy pretty much the entire game, but we're still going back and forth. Both teams really attacking the rim pretty well, and we're going to go to the media.
Paladins up 3, 7:42 to go here in the first half from Greenville. J.P. Pegues, 12 first-half points, all coming from Lauren Grange. T.O., he said a minute ago, he's keeping Furman right in front.
Well, he thrives when the ball's moving, and he has the ability to put it on the floor some, but his ability to knock down shots when you have other guys that can really attack the lane, like a Mike Bothwell, like a Jalen Slauson, his ability to open up the floor, as you see, 4 of 6 from beyond the three-point line. And you lost a couple of key pieces from last season. Alex Hunter, Conley Garrison, 2 guys that could really knock down shots and open up the floor. They needed J.P. Pegues to be good this year. And if you take out 2 games, one against at Appalachian State, one against South Carolina State, he was 2 for 11 in those contests. Besides that, he's been shooting the ball tremendously well.
He's averaging nearly 28 minutes a game. 1.3 assist to turnover ratio, helping run the point for Bob Ritchie's squad. Winthrop with the basketball, trailing by 3.
And look at positionally, Furman has taken another step. Ben Vanderwall, even though he's not that main guy, they eliminate the ability to throw over the top because his position's really good. Freshman has come in and given good minutes, and he hasn't scored that many points. I want to say he's only scored 2 points, but they were allowed 2 points. 1, and 2, he's just making things happen with his activity. Great help. Oh.
They're going to say Bothwell stepped on the sideline.
I thought it was very close.
I'll tell you what, right in front of Bob Ritchie. Doesn't like the call. Let's see if we can't see another look. Tipped in bounds. T.O., were your hands ready? Because that was coming right to you.
I was just going to take it.
Hey, there's 2 things. Protect the monitor, protect the equipment. Your body comes third. Trying to respond off the glass and in. Back to a 1-point game. Hey, mark that down. Big moment momentum-wise, it seems.
Yeah, McMahon, he's just so fast when it comes to getting downhill. But, his foot landed out of bounds. That being said, like, high emotional game. We're going to be close for the duration. That's a big-time move, Mr. Bothwell. That's what he does. He gets guys off balance. He maintains his composure, and he plays with a solid pace. You see it, get in there against the bigger Talford. The end one.
Bothwell near 30 points the last time out against High Point there.
He's just so strong physically. He's just so strong physically.
Not afraid to get downhill.
No, that's right. That's right. And Talford comes down. He gets stuck on a switch. And what ends up happening is these guys get a little jumpy because they feel like they have to protect the rim against the guard. Bothwell never really gets in a hurry. And we've seen it time and time again, Bryant, where he just plays at his own pace. He never gets sped up. That's why he's had some big scoring nights.
Free throw off the mark. Offensive rebound, Vanderwall. I think he's fouled. Yeah, there's the whistle. R.B. Clyburn with the whistle from the far side. The 6th foul on the Eagles, no shots, but it will be Furman basketball with Kyrie Shuey checking back in. Hey, that's another big play by the freshman.
Yeah, get on the floor, just bringing extra energy. He knows his role, he accepts it, and he comes into the game and he gives you an extra guy diving on the floor. He's only got 2 points and a rebound, but at the same time, he's got his hands on a couple of deflections that lead to steals.
He's trying to battle all his points coming from long range. That one off the mark, tipped out. Here's Vanderwall with another rebound. How hard is it maybe for a player like Vanderwall, who would have been the standout player in high school, probably in AAU teams that he plays for? Then you come in, you're more of a role player, at least early on in your collegiate careers. That will be 2 coming from the line. Mental adjustment, you say know your role and accept your role.
Well, I think it's huge because obviously anybody who comes and plays at the SoCon level or the Big South level, they were the guy in high school, right? But Vanderwall was known as a rugged player coming out of high school, with the ability to shoot the ball a little bit, but he presents a lot of things. His intangibles are what made him most valuable coming out of high school, and he's showing why today.
Furman now 3 of 6 from the free throw line. One more coming up for Tyree Shuey. Huey came in 8 of 9 from the line. So not a large sample size, but they're uncharacteristic miss of 2. So a missed chance for Furman. 2 offensive rebounds, comes away empty. Harrison wants to drop baseline, cut off, now skips it out to Lane. Man, a long three-pointer on the way. That one in and out, no good. Big rebound by the Paladins. Rebounds now 9-8 in favor of Winthrop.
And now's when you can attack. That floor's a little bit more open up off a defensive rebound, and Bothwell can do what he does best. Good transition defense by Winthrop to figure it out.
Goes for the steal. Huey, two-handed jam, misses it. Lost it on the way up. Help side defense was coming, and here comes Winthrop the other way. Harrison back out top of the key. Back and forth we go as Lane thought about it. Now he loses it out of bounds.
What a great defensive possession. And that wasn't easy. Kaysen Harrison changing directions off one dribble. J.P. McGee's doing a nice job staying in front. Ball moves out, and Ben Vanderwall might have gotten away with a little bit of foul. Two hands on the ball handle. Man, he has done a nice job bringing energy to this Paladins team.
6 turnover for the Eagles. Furman only turned it over twice here in the first 15 minutes. Paladins trying to get their largest lead. And now Pegues, offensive foul. Lowered the shoulder. That's Ryan Christian calling the charge along the baseline.
Now here's the thing for J.P. Pegues. He didn't play a lot last year. He's starting to feel it a little bit. And he's getting away from what made him good at the beginning, right? Letting the ball move and work for him. He hits a couple of shots, and then he turns around and gets a little too aggressive. If he continues to play within himself, those opportunities are going to be a little bit easier to come by as far as shot fake and driving to the basket.
McMahon. Active Furman defense here. There you see the screen by Heen. Talford with the roll off the glass and in. A nice job in pick and roll.
And Slauson needs to meet Talford higher around the free throw line.
Vanderwall from the corner. Yeah, you said he could shoot a little bit. How about that? Vanderwall now with 5. Furman ties the largest lead at 4. Furman so quickly off the mate, gets down and finds the corner open 3. Talford working against Heen. Double team comes. Open Harrison in and out. Weak side rebound Pegues.
That's good scouting report defense. Harrison not a great shooter from beyond the arc, only about 17% coming in on the year. It's an unfortunate turnover.
Through the hands of Slauson. Pass a little bit too strong. Step back 3 on the way, off the rim. Early shot there by the Eagles, and here comes Furman, a chance to extend the lead. Bothwell, nice entry pass to Slauson. Help comes, and that could be almost an intentional foul. Looked like he grabbed him. But take another look, Terrence, and look, you know, not the hook and hold, but look at this two-handed grab here.
And I almost wonder that's not a basketball play. Do they want to come and look at it? I love that. He says he went for the ball around his back. He went for the ball around his back.
2 hands down anyway. Slauson will go to the line. And, I mean, you mentioned it. It's the definition of a basketball play, right? If they had gone to the monitor, the officials aren't just looking at, you know, what happened, but by the rule book, are you making a play on the basketball? Is that
it didn't seem like it didn't seem like he was. I mean, that's why I would have thought it could have the potential for a flagrant.
Some token pressure in the backcourt. 6-point lead, the largest for the Paladins as we go under 4 to go in this very entertaining Big South Southern Conference matchup. Harrison underneath, back out top of the key.
Man, how quick is Harrison? I mean, almost impossible to keep in front. And Vanderwall has been really good. Not just on the ball defense, denying the entry pass. Another great team defensive possession. Now Furman's off to the races again. This is when he can attack. Very nice.
Right on cue. Bothwell now has 6. An 8-point Furman lead as the Paladins have held Winthrop scoreless the last 3 possessions.
And it's been from their defense, right? Their intensity defensively has leaked over onto the offensive end of the floor, and it's all been spearheaded by Ben Vanderwall.
A 7-0 Furman run. Chance for more over the last 90 seconds. Bothwell, Pegues, can he do it again? That's short. Vanderwall, pushed from behind, no call.
And that should have been a foul.
Vanderwall went crashing on the O board, now loose underneath. Wild shot attempt, tipped around. Here comes Pegues. Hightower wanted a foul. Back and forth we go.
I've seen pretty basketball. This is not pretty basketball. But the hustle's there, and that's the good thing. Sometimes you're going to have to win ugly. You're not going to have it all the way, but you have to initiate the action and move. But that opens up. And Mike Bothwell, he can attack when that defense expands out, and Furman's taking a little bit of a lead.
Lit it up, but wasn't enough as the Eagles knocked off Furman in an 85-80 win down the road on 85.
Well, yeah, it's a different team for Winthrop this year. Last year they had the big fella, DJ Burns. Oh, look at the Norway sweatshirt, representing my home country. No, they had DJ Burns at Winthrop last year, who is now transferred to NC State. It's going to be a big factor who Furman's going to see. What is it?
Tuesday.
Next game, yeah. Tuesday. So that'll be a good matchup. Furman plays well and shoots the ball well. They'll have a chance there in Raleigh. But Winthrop, they're functioning a lot different this season in that when that ball moves, they have plenty of guys that can attack the rim and kind of set off this chain of events, this chain reaction to get guys open.
6:30 Tuesday night on the ACC Network. Furman will take on the Wolfpack. Ball pass right to Bothwell. Bothwell trying to break it out himself. Leaves it off to Tyrese Huey. Count it. And he'll go to the line for one. Unselfish play by Mike Bothwell, giving the assist.
And he could have come up and tried to finish it himself, but good unselfish play. He goes up, fakes it. Big time finish by the athletic Huey. And he played it just right. It goes back to Bothwell's his change of pace and kind of how hard he is with his herky-jerk motion with the ball in his hands. He lets that ball float, and the defense comes to him because they think he's going to go up with it, and he's able to pitch it back to Huey.
First bucket for Huey. Goes back to the line. Missed two from the charity stripe earlier in the half, and that one knocked in. Furman lead is up to 11, and now we see some full court pressure again. Just a little token man-to-man full court pressure. What, another version to slow things down?
No, I think this is something where your defensive intensity has picked up a lot, and what ends up happening is your guys get more confident on that end of the floor. And Harrison, I don't know how much contact there was right there, Bryant, but regardless, if there's a ball screen coming, JP Pegues has to make him use that screen because that's where your help's at. Harrison, big time finish. Yep, right on the wrist. Good call.
He's looked over and wanted a push off before that, but it'll be two at the line for the junior out of Beaumont, Texas. Was 2 of 2 from the line, misses that one. Or excuse me, it was 3 of 3, and now he's 3 of 4 from the line. This Winthrop team will not go away. They'll fight hard all 40 minutes, expect to run, and now it's a 10-point game. Big 2 minutes here. Does Furman sustain the lead? Can they push it out a little bit, or can Winthrop get this back to a 5-6 point game before the half? Big 2 minutes here in Greenville as Alex Williams back into the basketball game. Dribbles it off a foot, turns it over. Powell has turned it over for the 6th time.
Look at the activity. You have a bad switch on the bottom side. Talford looking to play Pegues. And look how the defense is swarming. Huey straight over. We have a little bit of an elbow. I think we're going to get an offensive foul, and that's a good call. But that's all down to positioning. Pegues working his butt off, getting there. And we have a travel call. That is excellent position defense by Tyrese Huey coming over to help the smaller man.
Vanderwall checks back in. Huey takes a seat. Hey, good defense without fouling there. Using the baseline to your advantage. As Winthrop now without a field goal the last 3.5 minutes over their last 5 from the field. Furman with it.
It's all been on the defensive end. That's how they've extended this league. Furman has struggled to score a little bit in the half court, but they started to get their rhythm whenever they started to get out and turn offense into defense.
Off the front of the rim, was right on line. Powell is 5 of 12 from long range. Winthrop 2 of 11.
Good closeout.
Hightower step back 3, swish.
But you're willing to live with that. You have good position defense. He's shooting over high hands. Vanderwall takes away the middle. Sometimes good offense is going to beat good defense, and that was good position defense by Vanderwall.
Shot doesn't fall, but it'll be 2 at the line. I'm going to wave off the shot. Either way, it's going to be 2 free throws, as it's going to make it the 9th team foul. So just a 1-and-1 since they said it was before the shot, Terrence. That's the difference in 2 from the line and a 1-and-1 for Mike Bothwell. 6 points, 5 assists. in this first half for this graduate student out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio, and that one falls off the front of the rim. Uncharacteristic for the Paladins now, just 6 of 11 from the line. Foster was right there, but laid it off the glass. 5 straight for Winthrop, and now a 10-point lead down to 5, about a 15-second differential shot in game clock.
You cannot let Harrison split that defense and get downhill. That's when Winthrop's at their best, cutting to the basket and using their athleticism.
Quick 6-0 spurt for the Eagles. Heen tries to end it from the corner. That's off the mark. Offensive board, back out to Pegues. 6-second differential shot in game clock.
Good decision by Pegues. He's hit a few. He takes his time. And now they're able to get something that they want.
Bothwell with 6. Throws it up. Offensive foul. Mike Bothwell is going to get called for his second personal.
Ryan Christian thought he got over in correct positioning, but Claxton, he presents problems because he's so long-limbed and able to have enough room in front of him because he can still contest shots. Bothwell a little overeager to attack the mismatch there.
Mark Prosser calls the use it or lose it timeout. Shot clock turned off here in the opening half, 9.1 seconds. The 6-0, we said without 2 minutes to go, what happens this last 2 minutes? Well, it's been a 6-0 run for the Eagles, and it's back to a 5-point game, a chance to make it a one-possession game.
Yeah, huge, 2 minutes for Winthrop, just being able to get it back so close. If they're able to score here, they have to be thrilled going into the half. But, you've seen flashes from both teams. Furman starting to show energy on the defensive end, really closing out, trying to do some of the right things. And Winthrop, as a result, has hit some tough shots, especially here over the last 2 minutes. But all of that being said, both sides of the floor offensively are doing a nice job of playing with pace and moving the ball. But it's really where the defensive intensity has picked up. That's where Furman has shown progress since last game.
Now Furman takes their 30-second timeout. Alex Williams, Tyrese Huey will be back in. So let's take you into both huddles. First for Winthrop, what do you try to do this last 9 seconds? And then if you're the Paladins, assume pick up full court?
If nothing else, just to slow down what they're trying to do. Maybe throw a curveball into the mix with a 2-3, maybe a 1-3-1 that Bob has shown in the past. Just to kind of mix up and take them out of their ATO situation. ATO meaning after timeout situation. And make them have to run something different.
It will be Furman showing the full court pressure. You have Huey on the back end of it against Talford.
Big lineup in for Furman.
Hightower. Inbounds. Quickly into the front court now with Harrison. 4 to shoot. Harrison trying to get all the way. Kicks it to the corner. 3-pointer on the way for Hightower. Yes. Wow. The Eagles in the half on a 9-0 run, and an 11-point deficit is down to 2.
That was a big-time hammer set on the backside. Harrison getting through on the baseline, and then they had a screen on the backside for Hightower to get open. That's a big-time run to close a half. 9-0 run over the last 2:09. But it's been the defense that has gotten Furman back into the or not back in, but allowed their offense to create some things, and Tyrese Huey finished it off. You're seeing from your team, you're finally getting out, you're creating some turnovers, you make a little bit of a run towards the end of the half, and we have an absolute ball game heading into the second half. Both coaches probably on the opposite ends of that spectrum.
The half-court man-to-man that the Paladins come out to start this second half. 2-point lead. Furman's led by as many as 11. The largest lead for Winthrop, just 2. Manning, quick trigger 3 to start the half. That's short. Marcus Foster with the rebound. Quickly up to Bothwell. One more to Pegues. Tell you what, J.P. Pegues, you said, hey, quick start. He did hit 4 threes, but felt like he might have gotten out of his game a little bit late in that half.
It's easy to do for a young player. You hit a couple of shots, you feel like, well, I'm not going to miss one today. I can keep going. But stay with what it is. And Jalen Slauson, he knocks down his 3. If he's able to do that, that opens up your offense completely, because then he's pulling out the 5-man and forcing rotations.
Was 25% coming in from long range, now with 9 points. Dribbling through the defense, sends it back up to Hightower. Hightower all the way to the glass. Garrett Heen comes up and gets a piece on it. Prosser wanted a foul, not there. Furman wants to go quick. Slauson thought about it. And now Furman to set up the half-court offense. Maybe better of it by Slauson. That would have been 4 feet behind the arc. Heen gets the double team. One more to Bothwell, right in front of the Furman bench, off the mark, offensive board. Paladins reset. Now Foster's try. So 2 good looks at it from long range.
You can't be mad at that possession. Get a couple of open looks. Garrett Heen making good decisions out of the post. Get an offensive rebound. Sometimes you're just not going to knock down some of these shots, but you have to love the ball movement.
Hightower all the way to the glass goes down. Now 12 to shoot. Hightower, that's short. Rebound by Pegues. Furman looks to run quickly into the front court. 3-on-2. Bothwell off the glass. Can't get it to fall. And then Heen taps it to the Eagles. Point blank, you don't see Mike Bothwell miss many of those. No, you really don't, but you're still doing the right things. Man, Harrison is so tough to keep in front. It's pretty amazing, really. McMahon steps on the sideline. The 9th Winthrop turnover. Winthrop still scoreless here through the first 2 minutes with a couple of turnovers. Look at these teams. They're both gassed here 2 minutes into this second half. Back and forth we go to you.
Well, they're playing with tremendous pace. And, you know, Case and Harrison is so difficult to keep in front. Here's Winthrop going back to that funky 1-3-1 zone. And you have to be sharp with your passing.
7 points off now 8 Furman turnovers, make it 9. As the Eagles cut it back to a 3-point game. Turnovers leading to points. Forget about it.
Oh, my goodness.
You gotta respect the 3.
Awesome.
Now you know if you see a lane and Slauson full speed, get out of his way.
Forget about it. That's miscommunication and an absolute flush. There's one thing we know he can do, it's that.
Harrison kicks it out. Open 3-pointer on the way. Yes, not going to miss many of those. Chase Claxton, the senior out of Greenville from long range, comes in able to knock him down at a 42% clip.
That all comes back to Case and Harrison getting where he wants in ball screen situations.
Slauson already with 5 second-half points. Sends it out to Pegues. Furman looks to respond, and they do. J.P. Pegues with 15. Hey, all set up by Slauson on the block.
That's right. Now, Slauson hits a 3 to open the half. Gets in, gets a dunk. He commands that much attention, and then that's when J.P. Pegues can be better. His activity level to open up this half has tremendously improved since coming out of the break.
That was Slauson who tipped it out of bounds. Foster checks out. Vanderwall back in. And look at Vanderwall, intercepts the entry pass. Oh, but he was on the baseline. Vanderwall doesn't like the call. Tell you what, R.B. Clyburn, though, he was right on it. He was right there, had a good look at it. How about the freshman? Comes right in and almost takes a pick.
R.B. Clyburn, who's on your screen, looks like he could play the 5 right now. Oh, that's close.
And then how about Slauson with it? You talked about his activity level. It's amazing. You never want your offense to impact your defense, but it seemed like a couple of buckets, he's now more active on the defensive end.
That's right. That's right. And typically you want it to work the other way. Raise your intensity defensively and let the game come to you within the flow of what you're doing. But Slauson hits a 3, gets a dunk, and now things begin to change a little bit and his activity level increases.
It's going to be an offensive foul.
Unbelievable defense. Ben Vanderwall getting out in front. He has been a tremendous boost to what Furman has done today. Gets out in front, takes it directly in the chest. Now, does he sell it a little bit? Sure, but he had correct defensive position. And that is a big-time play by the freshman. And in a day where he's had several big-time plays.
Palin is back with the basketball and his 5-point advantage. Looks like here comes that 1-3-1 half-court zone with the 6'7" Claxton at the top of it.
See, I don't like that pass by Pegues. Like direct passes, ball fakes and direct passes get you open shots, and there it is, right there.
Slauson went to the spot. Now Furman up 7. Went them quickly back in the front court. Furman's hit their last 3 from the field. Next whistle will be a media timeout.
Look at the activity on the closeouts. You can't let him get middle that easily if you're Garrett Heen. But now you're playing with good pace, and then you could create some things.
Bothwell looking to go one-on-one down low. Keeps the pivot foot, lays it up and in. That's just out-muscling the 6'7" Claxton.
Talk about unbelievable balance to not travel on that play.
It's going to be the third foul.
Furman on a mini run here. Coming out, they're finishing up. Now up 7. My math is correct, but Bothwell coming up, posting up, keeping that right pivot foot down. And he'll get another one. Furman making a run.
7-point Paladin lead here. Taking a look at the Southern Conference standing presented by Ingles. Of course, all non-conference action. So maybe not apples to apples, continuing how competitive your non-conference play is. Paladin sitting there at 6-3. Had some big wins over the Gamecocks by 20.
Yep, battle for South Carolina, pretty good. Southern Conference, the top 3 really are the guys that you're going to be looking at to win the league. And for the Big South, High Point has been a surprise. And the last game they had here at Furman, they just continue to play well. Just dropped their latest contest to Queens out of Charlotte. First-year team in Division I, move up from the South Atlantic Conference in Division II. And they're also 8-2.
Winthrop with the basketball, trying to cut into the 7-point lead. What a move through the lane.
That is unbelievable. He is so difficult to keep in front. He's just crafty. He's unbelievably quick with the ball in his hands. And he's able to slow himself down when he gets inside of about 8 feet.
Now 8 points for Harrison. Slauson got it blocked, gets it right back, fights through the contact. Slauson now with 15. At first you don't succeed. Try again, Mr. T.O.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. He gets the post up. The help never comes, and he just stays after the play. And one, sir. Slauson has been good today. I mean, you look at him, 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting. Not somebody. Half. Yeah. No. Excuse me. That's for the game. Here in the second half. This would make it 10 here in the first 5 minutes. There it is, 10 points in the first 5 minutes of the second half. He's come out with a different level of aggressiveness, and a lot of it happened after he made that first shot, and both sides of the ball he's starting to play better. That being said, both teams right now have combined to make 9 out of their 10 shots. Defensively, teams have to be better. Oh, wow.
Vanderwall tried to draw another charge. He gets whistled for the block, and it'll be 2 at the line. It's going to be the first on the freshman, second on the Paladins here in the first 5+ minutes of the second half.
Vanderwall's a good player. I mean, you want to talk about buying into a role. He's only got 5 points, 4 boards, but he gives you energy. He gets out and plays the gaps really well. He plays off the ball. He's gotten a lot of deflections. And sometimes along with that defensive aggressiveness, you're going to fall prey to an occasional block call.
Back to a 6-point game. There you're seeing Mark Prosser trying to urge his Eagles for a defensive stop. But tell you what, I think that's going to be the key. Who can get more stops, maybe consecutively in a row? That's how Furman pushed the lead in that first half, Terrence. It was 3 stops in a row that helped us. Bothwell just muscles himself to the basket, and he has double figures now at 10.
And Chase Claxton's not an easy guy to finish over the top of. He's got extremely long arms, but look how he gets his shoulders on top of Claxton's shoulders. He controls him whenever he gets on his hip, and he plays with good leverage.
Lane quick 3 off the mark, tipped around, offensive board, and loose into the hands of Pegues. Break as Pegues picks it up. Now we'll slow things down. As Winthrop did a nice job getting back. Bothwell, quick trigger. That's short. Back and forth we go. Neither team afraid to let it fly. Furman now 7 of 18 from long range. The Eagles 5 of 17. Heen at the table. He'll check in. Well, Marcus Foster.
Hightower, who makes that pass, it gets deflected, was an all Big South first teamer in the preseason. Somebody who can beat you on the inside and out. But McGee staying active, playing physical, doing a nice job.
Marcus Foster back in. Hey, last time Foster checked out, he was a little frustrated with himself. Knew he had made a few mistakes. Sat there. It sometimes give you perspective, Terrence. You have a couple minutes on the bench, take a look at things. Foster back in. He'll be a big piece this last 14 minutes. Shot clock at 2. heaved up. That's going to be an air ball, and big defense there for the Paladins.
And who else? Marcus Foster, he messes up on the defensive assignment before he checks out of the basketball game. Comes back in, first possession back. Able to maintain his discipline, not leave his feet, and you have a quality possession, forcing a shot clock violation.
Furman 55% from the field. They've hit 6 of their last 8. Eagles, on the other hand, still 53%, hit 4 of their last 5. The turnover bug is caught Winthrop. They have 12 now. Here's that 1-3-1 zone. Skips it over to Bothwell. Keene out to Vanderball. One more Foster. Ball tipped away out of bounds, coming right to us. They'll stay with Furman. 8.
Chase Claxton just covers so much ground so fast. Number 33 for Winthrop. I mean, those long arms, he's really athletic.
Shot clock now at 6. Here's Bothwell. Step back, he'll take a 3 on the way, off the mark. Huey, offensive board, he's blocking a foul. A lot of contact, and Tyrese Huey go to the line for 2.
And sometimes your best offense is just to make sure you get one up towards the rim. Tyrese Huey.
Out jumps.
That is a strong, athletically gifted rebound. And he's not the tallest guy. What is he listed at, 6'5"? No, 6'6", 210. But incredibly long arms. And sometimes it's not how tall you are, it's how high you can reach. And he has those long arms. Need to make free throws. This has been an issue for Furman today.
Furman now 7 of 13 from the line. Tell you what, McKelvey was looking at Furman on that rebound, saying, "Hey, where's the foul?" And Jarman said, "Hey, y'all both just jumped," and he out-jumped you.
Yep.
Pretty straight explanation. Huey, though, from the line today, just 1 of 3. One more coming for the sophomore out of Columbus, and knocks that one home. The Paladin lead that was 2 at the half is now up to 9. J.P. Pegues set to check back in. Here comes a little full court pressure out of the Paladins. Furman's mixed this in interminglingly in that first half. So it'll be Foster defending the ball. That's a tough job to keep Harrison in front of you.
I was about to say, sometimes you might want to just back up and play your odds, but Foster does have quick feet. Goodness. Mr. Talford.
Two-handed jam. Huey went for the block. Talford slammed it home. Talford now with 17 points on the night. Terrence, we'll have to give you a pat on the back. When we were talking before the broadcast, he said, "Hey, here's our players to watch." I think you got it right.
Nailed that like a split hog.
7-point game. Paladins with the basketball. Here's Huey.
This is where he can score. He's got the size advantage. And Marcus Foster, shot clock, you got to get rid of it.
Had a good look at it. Quickly back into the front court. Thought about a 3 into the lane. Hightower, wave it off. It's going to be on the floor. Furman's 3rd team foul. And tell you what, the entire Winthrop bench wanted a continuation. That probably a little much.
And in the NBA, you would have gotten a continuation, but see, 1-2. You know what? It's hard for me to really argue the fact that they wanted that one. But regardless, tough drive. Hightower's a tough matchup for anybody. Why? Because standing about 6'6", 6'7", 220 pounds, and he can beat you inside and out.
Physical game, just 6 combined team fouls, 3 each this second half. Harrison guarded by Pegues. There goes Garrett Heen on the hedge. And tell you what, Furman's done a nice job scrambling back defensively with good passes and the easy layup.
It's just good off-ball movement. They hit the slip man. He runs into help. Next guy cuts.
Heen down the lane, sends it to Slauson.
I actually like that decision by Slauson. Doesn't get the positioning that he likes. Backs it back up. Takes his time.
Offensive rebound. Alex Williams thought about it. Now Slauson down low. Count it. We'll go to the line for 1. I tell you what, Furman passed up some 3-point opportunities, ended up getting an and-1 opportunity down low.
And that ball just keeps moving. You get it where you want. Drive, up, and 1. Furman still up 7.
Jalen Slauson, 18 points. He's 5 of 5 from the line. Came alive early in the second half.
Well, he started with his defensive intensity, and then one thing leads to another. He knocks down a 3. He drives the lane, and that's when he's been good. Things have kind of snowballed for him in a good way.
couple others to take a look at is Talford on the other side, 15 points. He's a perfect 6 of 6 from the field. J.P. Pegues for the Paladins has been lighting it up from long range.
Yep, JP, I mean, most of his coming in the first half, but playing within himself. But it really comes down to the forwards for both of these teams. If Talford's playing well, Winthrop's typically playing well. And when Slauson's on, he's just such a game changer physically.
One at the line, and this graduate student completes a three-point play. Back to an 8-point game. Here's that full quarter court pressure for the Paladins. Tell you what, Harrison just so dynamic. He's like, you know what, solid. Send everybody down, I'll beat the pressure.
Yeah, he's just so solid, and he's so fast. Like, if that guy could shoot the basketball, like, I mean, he would be able to go somewhere after his career at Winthrop's finished, but like his ability to just get places off the bounce, I mean, goodness.
Loses it, sends it to the corner, 3 to shoot, blocked by Heen, out of bounds with 1 on the shot clock.
Garrett Heen didn't want 1 block, he wanted 2 on that possession. He could have reached up and grabbed it. 1 block, look at him, look at him. No, you don't get it. Get it out of here.
Now the 1 on the shot clock.
Now you have to remain active on the ball if you're Garrett Heen. Stay away from the quick shot.
Almost a 5-second call. Thrown off the rim.
That's one way to do it.
Well, if it goes in, obviously doesn't count. Furman gets the stop. Pegues going to get called for another offensive foul. That's the second on J.P. Pegues.
R.B. Clyburn loves making the charge call. I want to say that's his 4th one today. That's good position defense, getting out in front of Pegues. Sometimes the best thing to do, if you don't have something off the first 2 bounces past half court, go ahead and get rid of that ball and let it work for you.
Second charge on Pegues, 3rd personal foul. Tell you what, you've seen Winthrop a couple times late in the shot clock scramble. Well, they crossed the timeline with about 22 seconds on the shot clock, so Furman uses about a 1/3 of the shot clock on that pressure in the backcourt. Associate head coach Jeremy Gross shouting out instructions from the Paladin bench. Down the lane, Harrison blocked with a whistle, and Marcus Foster going to get called for the foul.
About Harrison, the more you look at him, like, he's pretty wide build, and if he gets his shoulder on you, that's pretty good position defense by Marcus Foster staying in front. But regardless, Harrison gets his shoulder on the defense, and he understands that he can control who's guarding him whenever he's driving to the bucket.
Harrison 6 of 7 from the line, now 7 of 8 coming in. Harrison from the charity stripe was just a 58% free throw shooter, but he's found something from the line today as Claxton checks back in. Something to watch is Claxton's still going to be on Bothwell. Bothwell, I felt like, got the better of that matchup early in the second half. Back to a 6-point game. It was a 2-point game at the half. What a great game, Tio.
It has been good.
Fun Saturday afternoon here in Greenville before the holiday season really gets underway.
It's lacked flow, but at the same time, here in the second half, both teams picking it up from an offensive perspective.
Slauson out to Bothwell all the way down the lane. He's blocked. Gets his own rebound. Shot clock went to 20. He's stripped, still loose underneath. Should be a jump ball. And there is going to be a jump ball. A brief conversation. Ryan Christian come in to say it was a tie-up. Look at that, 15 on the shot clock there. Take another look. Big scramble under the bucket.
But that's Claxton. That's what he can do. Even though Bothwell has the strength advantage, Claxton certainly has the length advantage. And if you don't get your body on Claxton, it's really hard to finish.
He gives the inbounds right back to Bothwell. Bothwell working against Hightower, sends it out. Shot clock down
Watch
to 6.
out.
Hello,
Oh, my goodness!
Wow! Jalen Slauson. Bob Ritchie said, hey, where's the blocking foul? I didn't see it. Look up high. Then you see Claxton comes over late. Whoa!
Throw it in, sir. Mr. Slauson.
Tell you what, not a lot gets out of your seat. That gets out of your seat, and that's going to be a jump ball, and Slauson ties up Hightower. You okay?
I'm all right. That fired me up right there. We've had 2 highlight reel dunks. First half, it was Ben Vanderwall with an absolute flush. Second half, gosh, he climbs the defense.
There you see Slauson.
Just a jump ball. That's all
tied up on the jump ball. Tell you what, that's got a chance for SportsCenter Top 10. Slauson's already made a couple of appearances on the primetime show this year. That has another chance. 10 on the shot clock. Harrison into the lane. Now 5 to shoot. McMahon sends it back out. 1 long three-pointer on the way. Short, loose underneath. Talford with the offensive rebound. Back up, can't get it. Slauson grabs the board. Here comes Furman.
What a rebound. This is the most engaged I've seen Slauson in a long period of time.
Foster down low, and it's a double-digit lead. Timeout, Winthrop.
And now Furman, the energy is back in the building. A lot of it is because Jalen Slauson has picked it up on both ends of the floor. And that ball starts moving, and Furman starts scoring. Big-time move, Marcus Foster. That ball, and that's all because of the early advance pass in the half court. And this is just unselfish basketball. A little ball fake, the up, the flush. He just threw that in as Furman has a 10-point lead. Goodness.
Every night, it seems, T.O. SportsCenter Not 10 nominee.
There's one happening with consistency, and that reminded me a little bit of when Blake Griffin never really touched the rim, but was high enough he could just throw it in.
Took off from a little past the
We've had 2 today.
Line. Yeah, tell you what.
We've had 2. And
you're a fan of Ben Vanderwald.
Well, the reason I'm a fan of Ben Vanderwald is because he jumped and then continued to go up because the defense slid over. Like, that's a hard dunk. Like, that one was tough too. Listen to me, they're all hard for us. But what I'm saying is, the first one was in traffic and he kept going up.
After the timeout, Furman 10-point lead. The largest lead's been 11. That was late first half.
Golly, he's shifty.
Harrison
Goodness
counted.
Me.
And a foul. Prosser upset, wanted a whistle earlier, and Harrison.
He'll take the whistle now. I mean, Harrison with the ball in his hands. You know, I've watched the last few games of theirs, but his 1-2, see ya. I mean, that's a big-time move. And he did it against South Carolina State, too, to where he gets guys out on an island he's almost impossible to stay in front of.
Big 3-point play, back to a 7-point game. See, the Furman staff was saying, hey, we got to stay in front of the basketball. That all started with Harrison. Slauson down low, working against the 6'7" Hightower. Keeps the pivot foot, hook shot, foul, and it'll be 2 at the line for Slauson.
Yeah, Slauson wasn't going to pass that ball. Slauson is feeling some kind of way in this second half. He's got 21 for the game, but most of which have happened here after the break. 15 so far. And he's talking to everybody.
Slauson's a perfect 6 of 6 from the line, and I think there's a conversation happening between him and Matt Jarman. Jarman might be saying, hey, let your play do the talking there, Mr. Slauson. Free throw's perfect. Tell you what, 2 competitive teams going at it. A lot of them probably played AAU ball together, know each other on the court.
Well, yeah, I mean, Furman doesn't necessarily recruit regionally, but at the same time, like, there are guys that have grown up playing together. But somebody like Jalen Slauson, you have to find your way to get excited or get fired up for the game. And a little trash talk never hurt anybody, especially if you don't go over the edge to where the referees want to slow you down.
Tell you what, you had a couple go-to lines, I'm sure, in your day when you were knocking down 9, 10 three-pointers a game. That one tipped away into the hands of Pegues. Tell you what, Prosser's furious, wanted a foul. What a pass up to Bothwell, who one-handed jam. That is a cross-court dynamic assist. The 26 made field goal. The Paladins have assisted on 14 of them.
And Slauson, defense early, and you get Bothwell out in transition.
Furman bench up, they want to stop. Down low, here's Talford. Going against Slauson, double team comes, now triple team, and tell you what, works through it and lays it off the glass.
And that's Marcus Foster coming over to trap. You cannot let that split happen.
Tell you what, Ryan Christian just warned Prosser and the Winthrop bench saying no more. They've been barking all game. Long 2-point jumper, Bothwell off the mark, rebound taken by the Eagles.
Little too quick whenever you're playing against a set defense. Furman has gotten opportunities whenever they're moving the basketball and then creating closeouts.
8-point game, big possession here for the Eagles. Try to crawl a little closer, still plenty of time, 7:02 on the clock. All the way down, can't get it to fall. Here's Bothwell.
And now you have numbers, one guy on the floor. Somebody should be open, move that ball with purpose.
Harrison late getting back. Dean Bothwell. Down the lane.
That cannot be a charge. That cannot be a charge. That is a poor call. He did not have position. Bothwell did not extend out. That's bad call. He doesn't have position. He doesn't push off. He's not in legal guarding position. That's a poor call. There's really nothing the referee can say back to that. That being said, when Furman's able to get out and run, this is the result.
Furman 8-point lead is Winthrop basketball. That last charge call really fired up Bob Ritchie and the Furman bench. And Terrence, you're kind of saying, hey, you can't call the anticipation of the contact. You got to look and see what you said. But both coaches kind of unhappy with the officiating last few minutes.
But I mean, Harrison doesn't even have legal guarding position. It's just a poor call. And I said it earlier in the game, R.B. Clyburn loves that charge call. Loves it. It was the same thing last year at the Southern Conference Tournament. And he does a nice job as an official, a little too quick to call the charge. And that was a perfect example of, hey, he's sliding sideways. He doesn't have legal guarding position, and he doesn't take it to the chest. That's either a no call or a block.
We'll see how these two teams respond. 6:25 to go, 8-point Paladin lead. Winthrop led by 2.
My goodness. I know this is a Furman telecast, but Mr. Talford, my.
6-point game. Talford now with 19. Rocking the rim. We've had shows on both sides.
Big-time athletes on both teams.
Big possession here for the Paladins, trying to keep some position. Now Heen responds as both teams get into the rim.
Rotations have been optional this game, but nice little pick and roll. Help side coming over late, or not at all, actually. Hightower just went and let him dunk it.
Winthrop in the bonus. Furman 2 fouls away from it. 3 for the corner on the way. That's off the mark. Rebound taken down by the Paladins. Rebounds now
pass.
6. Vanderwall off the glass. There's the assist, T.O.
Hey, big time pass. J.P. Pegues seeing the floor. Vanderwall making the effort to really run the floor, and he's rewarded.
Vanderwall now with 7. Give Pegues 3 assists, 6 rebounds, 15 points for the sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee. As Hightower just ran a marathon, no call. Furman made 5 of their last 6 from the field. Heen lowers his shoulder, hook shot goes, and is a 12-point lead for the Paladins, their largest of the night.
It's pretty good by Heen. Knocked off balance a little bit. Goes over, regains, finishes over the top.
Fans come to their feet, trying to urge the Paladins to a stop. Big possession here for Winthrop to try to stop some of this Paladin momentum.
They've got to get inside single digits before the 4-minute. They're going to compete at the end.
1-on-1. It's kicked out of bounds. 5 on the shot clock.
High levels of activity defensively. Furman, active hands, staying in front of the dribbler. Defensively here in the second half, they've been tremendously better. And look, tries to force the issue. Pegues comes in. That's not a foul. That's good quality defense.
Loose ball underneath. Shot clock at 2. It's going to be a tie-up. Winthrop was trying to get a timeout. It is a jump ball, possession to the Paladins. Hey, look, you'll take the ball in the alternating area, but with 2 on the shot clock, you might have stayed with Winthrop. But you talked about the second half defense. You take some of it here. Only 24 points for the Eagles here.
Yeah, their activity level has just changed completely, and it started with their leader in Jalen Slauson, who is playing with a different sort of emotion, different sort of energy. And let's just call it what it is. Whenever you have a 5th-year senior, you've been through a lot of these games at this point. You have to find ways to motivate yourself.
Another offensive foul called by R.B. Clyburn, an illegal screen under the bucket. It's going against Ben Vanderwall, the freshman second. Furman with 18 fouls, 5 for the Eagles here in this second half. Slip down low, finds Talford. Blocked by Vanderwall. Then loose underneath, battled for it. Still loose, picked up by the Paladins.
Now they have numbers if they take off and go with it. Pegues, this is when you can make something happen. Big time pass, up for 3.
Off the mark, long rebound, out to Pegues. Furman to slow it down.
Smart move, J.P. Pegues. That is part of his development as a point guard for Coach Bob Ritchie.
Shot clock now to 7. Slauson wants the basketball. Long three-pointer on the way. Jalen Slauson has 25, and the Paladins have a 15-point lead with 3.5 to go.
That's 19 points for Jalen Slauson in the second half. It's his world today. We're just living in it.
9-0 Furman run ever since that charge call that went against Mike Bothwell. Next whistle will be our final media timeout. There's a bump along the baseline, and it'll be a 1-and-1. When we come back, Theo, catch your breath.
I'm trying to. 7-9 from the field in the second half. Jalen Slauson has been that dude. If he's knocking down that shot, I'm not quite sure how you guard him.
Mike Bothwell throwing it down. The graduate student has 12 points. Did pick up that 4th personal foul, so set a little bit, but while he was sitting, his team helped spark a 9-0 run. Tell you what, you talked about Jalen Slauson and his defense leading to offense, and that's kind of re-sparked the defense. And, you know, what stood out differently on the defensive side, first half, second half?
Well, the activity level. The activity level and the communication, and that's even with Case and Harrison being really good. Furman, when they're out in transition, they've had some flushes. 7 dunks made tonight. That doesn't happen often. And a lot of that is defense. You get going, you have a head of steam. Defense is retreating, and then whenever you start pitching out and then attacking closeouts, it presents those opportunities.
Still time for the Eagles, 3-11, but they got to get going quick, down 15. Winthrop at the line, where they're 12 of 13 from the line. Is Claxton there for a 1-and-1 and rattles off. That hurts. Slauson now, 4 rebounds, 25 points, and a couple of assists. Bob Ritchie slowing his team down, and probably rightfully so. Use a little bit of that shot clock. Bothwell muscles down low, hesitates off the glass, can't get it to fall. Rebound to Winthrop, and they throw it away. No, tapped. Last touch by Furman on the pass deflection. So Winthrop basketball. But right now, if you're Winthrop, you got to look for the 3 or still just run your offense?
No, you got to just run your offense, but you need to do it quickly. You're down 15, not a whole lot of time left. Need to make something happen in a hurry. Man, there's a lot of space on those baseline screens. If they wanted to throw it up to Talford, they could, because Slauson gets so detached.
Nice finish there by McMahon. 6'1" junior out of Indianapolis has 5. That stops a 9-0 Furman run. 13-point game, 2:15 to go. Winthrop needs to force some turnovers. You agree with not fouling yet? There's still tons of time, but
still a lot of time. 13 points, though. I mean, that's pretty heavy. You just need some solid possessions.
Vanderwall out of bounds. Winthrop basketball.
And Vanderwall has been everywhere. Like, his stats don't suggest that he's had this terrific game, but it's been one thing after another. He's got 7 points, 5 boards, but the level of energy, I mean, he's going to lead the league in floor burns by the time everything's done.
A lot of stats are kept. A lot of coaches dive into the analytics, but floor burns, that might be a new stat. That 3-pointer off the mark into the hands of Pegues.
Well, I remember when Ryan Larson played for Wofford a few years ago. It was kind of the same thing. Don't force the issue right now. Run good offense. There was nothing there. You're getting what you want when you're able to set things up.
26 on the shot clock, 13-point Paladin advantage. Winthrop with 5 team fouls, so they'll have to foul the Paladins twice to get them into that 1-and-1. Trying to get it to Slauson down there on the block. You talked about not forcing it. Content to use some clock now, under 90 seconds remaining. Bothwell into the paint, hesitates, tough fadeaway.
Oh, wow. That's tough. It's Chase Claxton, who looks like his wingspan's about 7'5".
Back to a 15-point lead, ties Furman's largest.
Oh, and now there's a block.
going along the baseline, take another look. One-on-one by Harrison, just runs. Foster backing up.
That can't be any clearer.
Foster backing up, saying, sorry, get out your way. It's a tall task to keep this Winthrop team in front of you. We talked about before the game, it's an athletic backcourt.
Kason Harrison, I mean, he's really quick with the ball in his hands, but that was a little bit fortunate. Bob Ritchie mild-manneredly arguing that call. Which is not all, yeah, hands in the pocket.
We've seen a lot of offensive fouls this game. There's been a block. There's been a lot called. One more upcoming. Hey, nice night for Kason Harrison. Yeah, 16 makes this will be 17 for the redshirt junior.
He's been good. Here's the crazy part. He's got 17 on 6 shots. And it's all because
of the line.
Yep, getting to the free throw line and forcing the defense to collapse on him. So he's got 17, 4 assists on 6 shots. That's a pretty solid line.
You're in that 1-3-1, but I'll tell you what, you kind of got to go for steals. You got to get the trap in. Can't be content for the Paladins just use this clock, but they're going to be able to pass it back and forth.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure this has been, it's a white flag of sorts, but game is out of reach. Down 15, 45 seconds to play. Let's go ahead and play this one out.
Furman to avenge the loss in Rock Hill from a season ago. All time, this series will be even. That shot off the mark. 2-second differential. Furman can almost dribble this one out as Bothwell looks through the students. Tell you what, you got to be impressed by the Paladins holding this team to 67 points, especially in the second half. You think Bob Ritchie will like his team's defensive effort, just giving up 28 and a half.
Terrific defensive effort coming off a game against High Point where that was obviously a point of contention for Coach Ritchie and his staff. You have to be thrilled with what you got from Slauson, what you got from freshman Ben Vanderwall. Came in and changed the energy of this game and gave them this much-needed boost of energy.
The meaningless shot clock violation in the final 15 seconds, or excuse me, 2.6 seconds to run off in this 15-point lead. And the Paladins will move to 7-3 on the year and a date with the Wolfpack of NC State Tuesday night.
Big game, big-time guards for NC State. Furman's going to have their hands full, but let me say this. Furman has Jalen Slauson, NC State does not.
Big night for Jalen Slauson. 25 points, 7 of 8 from the line. He's your BMW player of the game. Jalen Slauson, the graduate student. It was that early three-pointer in the second half that really sparked Jalen.
They kind of got him going, but it was a couple of dunks here, a three-point shot there. His second half was tremendous, and he was able to display what makes him so valuable. Just the different manners in which he can score, but we're showing a lot of shots. Where this all came from was the defensive end, and he was fantastic.
He was efficient, and he may just be on SportsCenter yet again, which will be no surprise. Jalen Slauson, your BMW player of the game. Paladins win this one by 15 as Coach Ritchie thanks the fans courtside. For Jeff Schetzel, his entire crew, for Terrence Oglesby, I'm Bryant Lambert saying so long from Greenville, where the Paladins get back to their winning ways.